Hi, this is Corrado with Grow, Learn, Teach, and we are here today with Bernardo Feitosa of gshypnosis.com, which is the world's #1 hypnosis and hypnotherapy resource. And today, in this interview, we will shortly talk about the main motivations for Bernardo to create this e-learning platform. What was the main objective and vision when he set up the platform in the first place, which challenges he faced, and how he actually solved those challenges. So, then at the end, we will quickly showcase the platform on screen. So, hello, Bernardo.
How's it
Welcome.
going? Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. So let's start with this. Why did you create your platform or your e-learning platform or membership site on WordPress in the first place? What was your main motivation?
I would say we're early adopters, relatively speaking. We got Infusion. We signed up for Infusionsoft in 2014. We were in business already for a couple of years. Very small, clientele, no list, nothing. And it was 2015. We had Infusionsoft for, already maybe 6 months or so. And we were actually in Brazil. I'm from Brazil originally. We were going there. And we were like, this thing of having to, every month, okay, let's see how much revenue that we can generate, and having to sort of start over at a clean slate on the first of the month. We clearly realized, we very quickly realized that we didn't want that every month. So we were just like, let's just launch a membership site. Let's launch something where, we have content that's updated on a monthly basis. And we actually signed up at the same time for Product Launch Formula, Jeff Walker. Mm-hmm. And we had no list. I mean, literally we had, maybe 500 people, which is, you can have a solid list of 500 people if you have a good engagement with them, yes. And, but we did this whole, we did all the video series, we had this crappy camera, and we just did, we went all in with a Jeff Walker style, all the different emails, and we got 30 people signed up into the membership site, and it was $47 a month. So I think revenue wise, it was it started at about $1,000 a month, and it wasn't, we were just starting out, and we were like, wow, this is something, this is, this is powerful, even though it's, small, relatively speaking, to almost everyone, who was doing it big, but it gave us that taste. So that was the motivation. It was really to have stability in the business and knowing, what type of revenue we can expect the next month and the next month. So really that was the motivation.
So were you attracted by the level of independence that WordPress as a platform gives you, or that you could actually create your own environment? You chose WordPress for a reason, right?
Correct. With WordPress, and it was funny because, most people when you're starting out, they would, our first website was a Wix, site. We didn't know what we were doing yet. And I've always learned I've always been a good, a quick learner of, software. I would just kind of go and dig into the documentation, kind of find things out. I've always been that way. And quickly I found out that with WordPress, we would be able to do, almost anything we wanted, where with other platforms, we would quickly find a limitation. So having that, even though I knew we weren't big yet, but I knew what we could do, how big we could get. And I wanted that open horizon. Okay, if we want to plug in this, we can do it. If we want to get this feature out, we can do it. So that really was the motivation for WordPress.
And you then are currently using WPEP. That's one of the reasons why we are having this interview. So how did you came across that? And that integrates really well into WordPress, right? So
it does. And I found out about WPEP. I've always been engaged in the digital marketer community. Mm-hmm. And digital marketer, they have an amazing membership site, and everybody was like, how can we get something like that? Like, how can we build a membership site that, not functions that way? It seems so far-fetched. It seems like you need something totally custom, like you need to spend thousands of dollars. And then Corrado, like you just started, I guess, developing WPP back at that time, a few years back now. But I started seeing, it's like, wow, this is actually can allow me to create something that looks, and feel and functions in a very advanced and user-friendly way. And it's a plugin. Like I can just plug it in the site and drag and drop, and it just gave me that possibility of having something that looks very professional, very, very quickly. And I was excited about that. And we actually started out using LearnDash. And because that, just doing the research is one of the, tools out there that is popular. You'll ask and you'll constantly hear, oh, LearnDash. And something that we had as a need that quickly became a problem with the LearnDash platform was that we had a lot of content. We had a lot of different modules. And each time, LearnDash, you have one page for each lesson, one different post for each topic, lesson, module. And for our team to manage all of that, and for the user to be like going in and in and in and in, like each separate WordPress post, I was like, man, I wish we could just have it all in one page, like a little drop down. And when I saw WPP, their execution plan module, I was like, oh, that's exactly what we need. It's just, we have the entire course, it's just one page, and they just open accordions. But it's not just accordions, there's a lot more to it. They can mark completion, the bar is dynamic. I mean, it was exactly what we needed.
Wonderful. So can you reveal how many members you have on your platform right now?
Yeah, all in all, we have about 1,000. We have 3 different membership levels, and we have an app, and that we integrated with this, third-party tool, and we have like tags integrated with Infusion. It took a really long time to set it up, but now it's stable. And we also have the app available inside the membership site as like a web app. And then we have all of the regular membership levels that allow the access to the courses that we use WPEP for. And we have a certification school with 100 students in. So there's 100 students that are, they're studying hypnotherapy to become certified through our company. And we also host the entire training inside WPEP. And that's actually our biggest focus right now, because our certification students, it's a 250-hour certification program, very serious, it's very official. They get a certification through different organizations, and we're doing the whole thing through WPEP, tracking their progress, completion, quizzes. So that's working out very well.
So you are also delivering the certificates with WPEP?
Because the certificates are actually through the organization, we just track when they complete the course, we see their final quiz results, and then we have to submit this like external form. So we can't just, we probably will create a certificate also that is delivered through WPP, like our own. But the main one that they get is this regulating body of hypnotherapy, and they do it through the outside, but they do the whole course, every quiz on WPEP.
You basically have the equivalent of a real world school, like online. That's correct, if we can say that, right?
There's actually, yes, and there's actually 2 in-person trainings as well. This is a very thorough certification. They have to fly twice to our city here in Florida, Vero Beach, and then they do everything else online. So it's a cool kind of mix. And but yeah, the whole entire school content is online with WPEP, and then they just come to practice that content here. Everything in person is the practice, and the school itself content is with WPEP online.
That's amazing. That's amazing how what the technology enabled us to do, to create a whole growth, personal growth, and development and institutes online and academies and schools. It's incredible. Every time I think about it, it just makes me very happy and also very grateful to be to to be part of creating such a tool that enables to make a difference in the world out there. I guess that's also your motivation, because when you work with people on such a level as hypnosis, it really touches people in a very profound way. Is that correct? Yeah.
That's exactly it. And we're trying to, there's a lot more. It's not only the education of our students, but it's what they're bringing out into the world. And that the whole thing is happening through the platform that we're creating. And what I really love too is that, these things, and being able to have this content out, being able to have lessons and modules and these features, they're a lot closer than it used to be because of tools like WPEP. And the fact that I was able to do it all myself. I actually even, I have worked with building membership sites on the side for a while, but I actually don't know how to code. I'm not a coder. And these tools allowed me to create not only a side business where I could implement the tool and actually create the final output as, exactly as like the client wanted, without being a coder, without being a developer, and growing our own business that way as well. And that's all because of tools like that. And so I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main motivation in the beginning, to actually have a tool that enables you also to scale and grow, because you can build a site with it that has one course, and you can build a fully blown institute with hundreds of courses with it. And if you really look at it, if you'd want to actually custom develop this, and you decide I want to create a school online, and if you want such a tool, that's and you have to build it from scratch, it's very improbable that anyone will actually do it, and it's also very expensive. And this is the value actually we want to create and continue creating for business owners all around the world that engage in building schools online and teaching courses, and enable them to create their own independent platforms and not on their own WordPress sites. And that's also the desire that we had in the beginning. And that also this need also shapes on how this platform is growing and how it's built and how it functions. It needs to be easy to use, so anyone can actually operate it with a very short learning curve, and it needs to be fun to use. And I smile every time I create a course with it, because it's like, if you have your content organized, you can create it in a few minutes, and there is not going on to hundreds of pages or sub pages and clicking all these things together, where it's very simple and straightforward. Yeah, the build is actually a core of the whole experience. So let's why would you suggest someone else having their own platform on WordPress? Can you give us maybe one or two nuggets, if anyone that is watching this interview is still on the fence and doesn't know which platform to use, or maybe wants to switch over from another SaaS type solution? Yeah, maybe one or two things that you can share with us.
So when our business started growing, and in the beginning we had WordPress, and I already knew, I knew that it was the best thing, but I hadn't yet felt like, okay, this is why, because we were still just growing. We were still in the beginning. But as we started growing, now we have a big list. We have, a customer base. We start seeing all of these opportunities. And when you start seeing all these opportunities, you want to be able to just implement quickly. I mean, we had a Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday sale, pretty recently. And we had about, 30 ideas of like, okay, when they go into the shopping cart, we do this. When they don't put their, credit card info, we do this. If they, let's create a wish list. Let's create a possibility for them to gift the product instead of buying it for themselves. Man, with WordPress, everyone has thought of basically anything, everything that there is to think about. Of course, tons of plugins are still going to be created, new needs are going to show up. But because of WordPress, we were able to implement a huge percentage of these ideas in a very quick way with a plugin or with a little setting, or modifying the code. Like if now I have a developer and he can do that. And so, I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Once you start growing, you'll actually see and feel it, the difference.
So did you actually, I think it's good and it's not so difficult to actually do custom things and have a developer on your team to whom you can delegate very simple tasks. I see some people get hung up on like very tiny things that, you can hire someone for $10 on Fiverr or, obviously you need to learn how it all works, but I think it's a great plus to have someone that can do these technical, more advanced things, right?
Correct. Yeah, definitely. It's always, I don't know what I would have done without my developer at this point. We've had so many, not only, sometimes things would break and, because now we have about 40 plugins, which we have to trim down a little bit.
Yeah.
But one of them is updated, it could impact the others. So having a developer that can navigate that and know, okay, this is the cause and this is what we got to do to fix it. I don't know what I would do without someone like that. So it's very important to have someone with you, and it's not hard at all to get, to find. That's a knowledge that, a lot of people have. So that's really important. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's a downside. A lot of people would say, oh, a downside of WordPress is that you always need someone to manage it. But if your business is growing, like you need people to you need people to manage things. Like that's just a part of the process.
Exactly.
You're not, dragging and dropping a simple website forever and actually grow. I mean, you're going to have needs as a business to serve your customers better. So that's just the process.
Wonderful. So show your site a little, how it's set up and how it's working.
Yeah, I'm here I'm here inside. We actually did some CSS here. We started with the basic design, which is already amazing, but we had a designer do a whole new rebranding, and then they built this as the page, as the design, and we were like, can we do this? I asked my developer, and he's like, yeah. And so he just, CSS coded this design, but this is WPP here. 100% of the functionality is WPP.
Amazing. This looks amazing.
Yeah. So we have here a little link to join our Facebook group. We're using that as community.
Mm-hmm.
And
so what was the process? You showed him like a template of how you want to have the site to look, or the course page, and then he just added some CSS and that's it.
Yeah, that's his main thing. It's getting a design, and we had Illustrator files to see like the exact formatting that he was, that they were using, the spacing. So he would code that in and develop the page. But this is using, this is just CSS. It's just formatting on top of the WPP functionality. So we have here, we're using a execution plan style here to deliver the whole course. And we have week 1 all the way to weeks 20, 24. So this is a very thorough course.
Wonderful.
And something too is that like we constantly have to update the course. We have so many students now going through it that they're like, oh, this on week 2 I found this thing and I think it should actually be like that. So to edit, it's just the easiest thing in the world. Like I don't even need to, normally you need to record tutorials for my team to be able to edit things. But with WPP, I basically just say edit course and you'll figure it out. Like it's that user friendly, the process to actually change the content of the course. So that was a game changer too.
What's your tech stack? The membership plugin you use is?
We use Memberium as the membership plugin. And
Then
I actually, yeah, I wanted to use the index page from WPP. And the thing is, it may actually be possible, but we have a custom, it's a custom point system, credit system.
mm-hmm.
So if you go here into our hypnosis library, this is our library, and we have these different types of content.
Mm-hmm.
Single recordings is we actually only deliver it through audio plugin. So we're not actually separating content. It's just like little single sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have a sequential like module 1, 2, 3, ABC. It's just these audio players.
This
right
looks
here.
awesome. It's looks amazing.
And the cool thing is that these are actually hidden. Like I'm logged in as an admin, so I can see them all as if I had unlocked them all. But as a user, you would see unlock now. And then we have a little pop-up that says, unlock this single for 15 credits. And each month that they're a member of our membership site, they earn 50 credits at the base membership level. And so basically it's like they're getting 3 recordings or 3 of these sessions per month, if they stay a member. So it's just like a perk of the membership.
Wonderful. That's incredible.
Yeah. And if they cancel their account, they lose it all. And that's kind of the reason why staying for the long term is good. And we encourage people unlocking these and, stashing their accounts with, more and more sessions, and they are not going to want to cancel because, they going to keep those sessions and have, the ability to access them at any time. And then we have the series and challenges and legacy. On all of that, we're delivering through WPEP. And we also have the credit system on top of them. And to answer your question about the tech stack, so we have Infusionsoft as our CRM. Then we have WordPress, as what we're using for the website. We host it on WP Engine. And we are using Memberium to protect the site. And the theme we're using is actually BuddyBoss Social Learner. We did some CSS on the menu that normally doesn't look like this. We used to use a theme called Woffice, which the design is amazing, but it was very heavy and it didn't interact with protection, content protection really well, because the theme itself tried to protect the page. Like it had page protection functionalities. So it didn't work well with plugins that also were trying to do that, even if you turned it off. So that was just, needs over time evolved, and we just had to change it.
Yeah, that's the blink of an eye course builder. That's why there isn't.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it already loaded here. So this is the whole course. I mean, if we want to move things around, we can just drag and drop. If we want to change something, we just click on the little icon, and we change it.
Mm-hmm.
Just yeah.
You have a BadgeOS there, yeah, right? For your gamification.
I do. I was using it in the beginning, and then I stopped, and that's just because of the way that badges were being displayed. I don't know, people weren't using it as much as I thought they would, like the badges and engaging with them, even though it was pretty cool. And then we had some theme compatibility issues where they were going into some weird page. So I was just like, let's just cut that part out. I should probably implement some, solid BadgeOS strategy, which now we probably can.
Yeah, we were saying BadgeOS, you still have it active there.
I do, yeah, I have it active. I should probably turn this off because we're not using it at all right now. So, but we should have a strategy here in place, because I remember turning it off for just compatibility issues, like the design itself. Something was looking weird. I cut it out, but
did you use it for a time?
We did, actually. We had badges for each one of the courses that they were completing that would show up on their profile. and they looked great on the other theme we were using. And then we transitioned, something looked weird. I turned it off, but that's something that you actually just reminded me. We have to, I'll put that on our project list.
No, because I tell you, BadgeOS creates log entries and for each action, and these log entries, if they are not deactivated, it can slow down your site. Yeah. So
that's a really good point. I'm actually going to turn it off right now.
okay, wonderful. This has been great. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and time with us. Just as a last note, is there something you would like to say?
No, I think that I would say in your journey with a course is just always important to not only listen to the user, but really have an ongoing conversation with them about what's important. A lot of times we just assume, okay, oh, I want this feature, and you get so caught up on having this one little feature that you think is going to be amazing, and then you release it and then nothing happens, or it happens and it's not as good as you expected. So just always have an ongoing conversation with your customers, with your students, to really know what's important and what's not. Otherwise, you might waste a lot of time and be really obsessed about little things. And you want to make sure you're always working on what's going to deliver the most impact. So that's my one advice I'd say to all people working on e-courses and online education right now.
That's a very incredible nugget there. It's very important because you stop seeing things if the only things you see is like, and if you're caught up in your own little world, and the magic happens on the when the exchange happens, the conversation with the students or with the customers, they tell you exactly what they want, and you just need to learn, and you just need to listen, and then based on that, create your course or platform, or and not doing that at all, it's a dangerous territory.
And so just to kind of connect to that point real quick, I worked on this Black Friday. I worked on probably for about 3 nights. I actually pulled 3 all-nighters. It wasn't back to back, but just like all in all, I pulled 3 all-nighters working on a gift card option, and for people to share the products as a gift. And that's something we've been hearing from users that they wanted for a while, but it was just random. It was just like someone would say it on the inbox, I wish I could gift it. I wish I could gift it. And so I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have Black Friday. I'm just gonna create the gift feature, and that's it. Like, it's gonna blow up. I actually thought we might make double the sales because of that one feature. So I just had it in my mind, I need to get this feature out. And we sold 3 gift cards or something. Like, it was just like, we sold no gift cards, and we had like 7 orders. And I was like, why are people buying the gift cards? They asked for the gift cards. And then I started talking to them. I was like, well, it's like too early for Christmas. Like, they're gonna give it for, they're gonna do it on Christmas, but no one was thinking about it yet on Black Friday, like buying, their Christmas gifts. So, it was just about timing now. But if I had that conversation, it's like, okay, if that feature was available, and I actually talk to my customers and say, would you buy it if that feature was available right there? I would probably, save 3 nights or delay them until Christmas when they actually would buy it, and spend my time, more efficiently on something more important. So that's just a little story to, really, really listen and have an active conversation with your users and not just assume.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Bernardo.
Thank you so much, Bernardo. It's so great for being here. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you very much for sharing your time and knowledge. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.